This is the list of the highest protein foods with the lowest calories possible. Meaning that I will show you the absolute best foods for easily getting in all of your protein to get as jacked and as lean as possible. So the main factor we will be focusing on in this list is the ratio of calories to protein. That's how you can truly see what is the most efficient food out there. Just keep in mind that if some food is low on the list, it doesn't mean that it's bad and that you shouldn't eat it. It simply means that the calorie to protein ratio is not great. That's all. So let's start from the bottom of the list and work our way to the top to see which food reigns supreme. In the last place, we have grains like rice, oats or quinoa with a ratio of 36. Which probably doesn't mean anything to you right now, because I still didn't explain how we get this ratio. We simply take the average calorie amount of a single food item or a food group per 100 grams, and then divide it by the amount of protein it has, also for 100 grams. So because grains like rice, oats or quinoa in an uncooked state have roughly 360 calories per 100 grams, and only about 10 grams of protein per 100 grams on average, we divide 360 by 10, and end up with a ratio of 36. So the number you will see right here is the average calorie and protein amount per 100 grams. Which is how we get this ratio, which in this instance is 36. And as you will see later, the lower the number of the ratio, the more efficient the food is. But because we are starting from the bottom, a ratio of 36 is really high. So it is definitely not a good choice if you are looking to get in as much protein as possible in the smallest calorie amount you can. You might even be thinking, rice, oats? These are not even real protein sources, and you would be right. I put them on this list very much on purpose. I really wanted to have like an anchor point to which you will be able to make a comparison with, which will really help you see everything in a different light, especially as we get to the podium rankings. Number 13 on the list is nuts, so peanuts, cashews, etc., with a ratio of 30. We have all always been taught that nuts are a great source of protein, and sure, theoretically they are, but in reality, when you take into account the calories it comes with, you'll realize that nuts overall are more of a healthy fat source rather than a protein source, which you can really see when you compare the ratio of grains with the ratio of nuts. It really isn't that far off. And we are only getting started, so you can imagine how big of a difference it will be when we get to the top spots. Plus the protein from peanuts, for example, is incomplete anyway, so it really isn't that great of a choice if you are solely eating them to get in your protein. If you have a lot of calories to spend and you need to get in your healthy fats to keep your hormones in check, nuts are an amazing choice. But if you just want more protein and you are limited by your calorie budget, there are much better ways of doing that, which you will see when we get to the top spots in this list. Number 12 on the list with a ratio of 20 is full-fat milk, which is already a huge jump from the two previous entries. But when it comes to its calorie to protein ratio, it's still very far from amazing. Plus, full-fat milk is not really satiating, and if you care about the amount of calories, you also care about satiety. Full-fat milk is great if you are a skeleton, and you are having a hard time getting in both your calories and your protein, as it goes down much easier than pretty much anything else, but otherwise it's not that great. But do you know what is great? This beginner bundle that already helps so many people get their journey on the right track. It includes everything that you will need, a training, nutrition and even a cardio plan. Plus of course a technique guide that will teach you how to do each exercise properly. And it doesn't matter if you have a fully equipped gym available or if you have literally just dumbbells. The beginner bundle is ready for every situation. So if you want to get your journey on the right track without getting overwhelmed, click the first link below and learn more. Now let's continue with number 11 on the list, which is full-fat dairy with a ratio of 16. This mainly includes full-fat cheeses of different types. So anything from your regular cheese to mozzarella to even cottage cheese, which I'm now realizing I never thought about cottage cheese as an actual cheese. Well, I guess it is. But that's besides the point. This category also includes items like full-fat Greek yogurt or any other yogurty food. When you are looking to get the most protein while simultaneously consuming the least calories possible, full-fat dairy is just a bad choice. When you can simply go for the normal or the fat-free version, which you will definitely see higher up on this list later on. Number 10 on the list is legumes with a ratio of 15, which means foods like beans, lentils or chickpeas. One important thing to remember is that legumes are measured in an uncooked state, so while it might look you are not getting enough volume of food, once cooked you will get a very good portion. Even though legumes are pretty low on this list, that definitely doesn't mean that you should exclude them from your diet if you enjoy eating them. It just means that there are a couple of really incredible foods that allow you to consume more protein and less calories. That's all that it is. As legumes are one of the best food groups you can consume, especially if you do not eat meat, so keep that in mind. Number 9 on the list, we have fattier cuts of meat, with a ratio of 14. Here the situation is very similar to full-fat dairy, because you could certainly have some fattier cuts of meat in your diet if you have enough calories for it. But if you are looking to get in as much protein as possible while consuming as little calories as possible, leaner meat will always win over fattier meat. Just like eating fat-free cheese will always win over full-fat cheese. Number 8 on the list, with a ratio of 13, we have eggs. If anything deserves this super clickbaity title of a superfood, it's definitely eggs. And even if you are on a super hardcore diet, I would still never remove eggs from it, because their nutritional value is so great. You know, at the bare minimum, get in at least that one egg. You will certainly be able to fit that in. But unfortunately, for the purposes of this list, it cannot be higher than 8. Because while the protein amount is pretty good, the fat amount is equally as good. Number 7 on the list is tofu with a ratio of 12. I know that there is a lot of people who really hate tofu, but I feel like it really comes down to the brand you buy and your cooking skills, because the difference can be absolutely massive. Number 6 on the list, we have fatty fish with a ratio of 11. These fish are, for example, salmon, sardines, mackerel, etc. Considering these are called fatty fish, them being number 6 on this list is really a miracle. And when you take into account that most people are not getting in enough healthy fats, similarly to eggs, fatty fish are a great option that you should include at least in a couple days of your diet. Number 5 on the list is fat-free milk with a ratio of 10. While the ratio suggests that this should be one of the top contenders, you still have to consider what I said about full-fat milk. Liquid calories will not really fill you up that well. So yeah, the ratio is pretty decent, and having like a cup of fat-free milk alongside your meal or something like that can be a great option for getting in more protein. But if you are solely about getting in more protein and you like milk, there is one better option that is included in the next category. Number 4 on the list is fat-free dairy with a ratio of 6. Now we are really getting into the big boy league, as you could see by the ratio jump from 10 to just 6. Pretty much anything in the fat-free dairy category is a good choice. Just be careful about those shady products that say fat-free but then add in a ton of sugar to compensate for the flavor loss. So do your due diligence and check the nutrition label. When we were talking about fat-free milk, I told you about a better option, and that is those high-protein milky drinks, which have extra protein in them. The one protein milky drink I have in my fridge comes down to the same ratio as this entire fat-free category, which is 6. That's why I'm including it here. And it shows you how much more efficient the protein drink is when compared to fat-free milk. The ratio jump from 10 to 6 is pretty substantial, so in this context, the protein drinks would be a better choice. Number 3 on the list is lean meat with a ratio of 5. This includes all the lean poultry and fish and also lean red meat. So some of the best choices are, for example, the good old chicken breast, tuna or lean ground beef. But if you decide to go for canned tuna, make sure that it's not soaked in oil, otherwise you will definitely not be getting a good ratio. Now for the number 2 on the list, and that is egg whites with a ratio of 5 as well. Egg whites are like a cheat code if you are struggling to fit in more protein into your diet, because it's so easy to mix into food when you are cooking something. Or if you are crazy enough and you know that the egg whites have been pasteurized, you could even drink them straight up, but it's pretty disgusting. Trust me, I tried. Egg whites are hands down the best solution if you are struggling to get in your protein and you want it to be as low in calories as possible. And it would be the overall champion if it wasn't for the number 1. And that is protein powder with a ratio of 4. No wonder it has the best ratio when it has been literally made with this purpose. So if you are struggling to get in your protein and you don't have a lot of calories left, it's completely fine to supplement it with protein powder. It becomes a problem when you start getting too clever and think you can make your entire diet out of protein powder. That's not what I want you to take away from this video. You should use this list to find better replacements for your current diet. like replacing your regular milk with those protein milky drinks, or just going from a full fat variation to a leaner one. You should definitely not transition into a diet that consists only of protein powder, egg whites, and chicken breast. Because while they are super high in protein and low in calories, that's kind of all they contain. It's just protein. And while you need protein to build muscle, you also need your diet to have some nutritional value. For example, go ahead and make an omelet out of egg whites, but also add in 1 or 2 regular eggs as well. Simply make sure that your diet provides you with all you need, because there is no way of cheating the system. There are just better and worse choices. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you would like to get your muscle building journey on the right track, please don't forget to check out the beginner bundle by clicking the first link below. Good luck in the gym, and I will see you next time. If you like this video, then you will surely like this one too.